right.
This beat feels very appropriate.
Yeah. We just relaxing, man.
So, did you smoke?
What?
Have you smoked?
Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, I have not.
Accomplishments, excellence, perseverance, consistency.
Yeah, one day at a time, man. One day at a time. It's been rough. But I've done it, man. I've done it.
So do you need to do anything to get your mind off of it, or is it just how hard has this been?
Oh no, it's been very difficult. Something you do every single day. There's a chemical, thing going on. There's a psychological thing going on. There's a physical thing going on. I've had plenty of cravings. A lot of cravings actually, man. But it just usually passes pretty quickly in a few minutes. You know what I mean? If I just start doing something else, I can't just sit around. You know what I mean? And it's funny. I used to smoke a lot in my car. So, a lot of the urges come from when I'm in my car. But, either I'll call you, or I'll call the wife, or I'll put on some music, you know what I mean? Or something like that, keep my mind off it. But
you don't need any substitutes? Like you're not eating a lot?
No.
Or like as far as snacking or something, like people start chewing on stuff?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I haven't really noticed a difference. But no, I'm just one day at a time, man.
That's good.
Yeah, no, it's, no patch, no gum, no, just, what do they call it? Cold turkey. Cold turkey.
Yeah, my dad tells me that's how my grandmother did it too. She just decided one day I'm not doing it, and she didn't do it.
Yeah, you just make that decision, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it before. I've done long periods where I've quit before, so we'll see how I do on this one. But I'm ready. I'm ready to be done.
That's good.
Good. Thanks for asking, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Accountability and support.
Yeah, dude.
Support.
Very cool, man.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Ain't no way to get into it but to get into it, man. I'm not gonna completely down it, but let's address it, man. I think it's gonna help me.
Yeah.
If it gets too much, then we'll divert and and pull up.
Yeah. No,
we'll pull the plane up and.
Yeah, I'll do some random movie quote or something to get us out of it.
Nah, but so here's what's important. I learned a few things this weekend. So our dog of 10 years passed away. He had bone cancer. And I learned a lot about myself and a lot about the family, and it was an important time. It was a bonding moment. So out of every bad thing, there's always a lesson. There's always opportunities. It was sudden, and it reminded me of just the cliche stuff that we already know, the delicacy of life, that nothing's promised. Everything will pass, including pain. So it was interesting. It was something that Thursday morning, he was perfectly fine. Thursday night, he started showing that he was very hurt. And Friday, it was apparent that the decision had to be Friday. It had to be done Friday. So it was tough. It was tough after a long time. There's a lot of sentimental memories. It's funny. Up until Friday, I had this assumption in my ignorance that losing a pet was something that you just go get another one.
Right.
And it's not that. The sting is different. Death continues to be impressive in its way of affecting you. But, it's like I told my daughter, Annalise, who took it, she took it pretty hard. Thankfully, my son, who's 4 years old, he doesn't clearly understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I tried to explain it to him, and it was, I'm not going to lie, it kind of not frustrated me, but it did frustrate me a little bit, because it's like, dude, my worry was I don't want you to realize it a week, 2 weeks, or a month later.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to understand what's going on right now so that we can continue together as a family, move on. I don't want you to later bring it up like, wait a minute, what happened? Where is he?
Right.
And he was not getting it. Like, it was like, yo, this is going to happen, and this is the end. And I'm fine. I'm grateful that he doesn't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
But I was just like, do you really not, or are you just not paying attention to what I'm telling you? Like,
No. From a developmental standpoint, I could say with some certainty that He's just at that age, man.
Yeah.
You know, Victor is now just getting to that age, 5, 6 years old. I mean, he's real close.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it could go either way on that one. But
I read a lot about that. They were saying that the cutoff is like 5 or 6 is when it gets a little gray, as far as some will understand it and some won't, and some kind of will have an idea. But definitely, yeah, the wide experience that I was seeing online was like at 4 years old, they don't know what's going on. They don't get it.
They know what's going on day to day, for sure, with their here and now. But, you know, you bring up a trip that was 6 months previous. You know,
they don't know nothing.
They're not remember.
It's funny because when we took Annalise on her first Disney cruise, she was about 4 or 5 years old. She doesn't remember that ever happening. It just didn't happen to her.
It's crazy. I have a theory on this. And it would take a lot of money and a lot of research and a lot of time, which I will do none of those things. But to go right along with that, it's interesting about, that's kind of always been the golden rule, right? Like kids, you're not, you know, Louis C.K. used to talk about, he had a great bit about, you know, I got the 3-year-old behind me just talking nonstop. Nothing that she's saying is important. You know, they're not making memories yet, right?
Right.
But it's interesting. You know, my son has a very astute memory, I feel. And we take a lot of photos on our phone. We take a lot of video on our phone. And we review those photos and videos a lot. Right. And I wonder if in 10 to 15 years with this technology that we have, I wonder if that's having any kind of impact on younger children's developmental you know, areas in their memory. You know, if you're able to, you know, review these things from an earlier age. I'm not talking like 1 or 2. I'm talking, you know, 3, 4 years old. You're taking photos almost every day. You're taking videos, and we're reviewing these things. And you know, that's just something me and Vic and Bree do a lot. Is we'll just sit there on our phone and just go back through the videos and laugh and watch all this stuff. And I wonder if there's going to be a link to that maybe kids will start remembering things a little earlier than what has always been, due to that technological link. Maybe it's interesting to think about.
I mean, I always heard, and I think it's true, I always heard that you won't remember what someone did to you or what someone said to you, but you'll remember how you felt.
Yeah.
And I think kids show that. They don't necessarily remember specific details, but they do remember a feeling. And they might latch onto a song or a moment or like a cartoon that kind of connects me to something else. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see if technology makes memories last a little longer.
Yeah. Or, you know, fleshes them out a little bit more. You know, and keeps them a little bit more vivid in your brain. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm talking, you know, children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but it was, I'm grateful for the experience. Yeah, man. I'm grateful for I'll say it that way. I'm grateful for the experience. I told Annalise something that, it was just different things coming to my mind. I'm like, you know, when you got to break down and tell a kid that, it's tough. And in a way, I was kind of pumping myself up as I spoke to her. Kind of like calming myself down too. But I told her, I said, you know, wouldn't you think, you know, after she made the decision, she wanted to be there for the, you know, the injection and the ultimate, you know, the final moments. I told her, I was like, that's good that you're doing that. I didn't put pressure on her to be there, but she chose to. And I was like, that's good, because I think it's a real honorable thing if you can be there and you choose to. Because after somebody or something gives you 10 years of their life unconditionally, it's nice to be there at the very hardest moment of their life. Yeah. It's nice to do that. And I was proud of her for being there. And I felt that way for her. I felt like that's the way I pump myself up, for lack of a better word, to handle it. I'm like, it's selfish, dude. It's selfish to and I want to say that, like let me back up a little bit, because people process it differently, right? Like some people won't be able to be in that room, and it's not fair to say it's selfish, but yeah. I felt like it was important for me to be there just because of that. I felt like, for me, I would have felt selfish. It wouldn't have sat right with me to drop them off and walk away. Yeah. Like, that wouldn't have sat right. So I made the choice to just be there. It's that whole process is exactly the way they say it's going to be, though. Like, the whole sleep, that's what it looks like. It looks exactly like that. So grateful to science that they do it that way, because in the old day, it used to be a 38 to the back of the head.
Take them out back, man.
Some people still do that, but that used to be your only option. Yeah.
How was the staff interaction with who you were interacting with? How was that experience?
It was cool, but I paused for a second because I wasn't of the state of mind to really. Here's what I'll say. I'll say that whenever a person's in a position, even with humans, like if you have to let someone go and you have to plan a funeral for a person, it takes a special kind of person to handle the business side of that.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for you to be the one giving all the information and don't leave the person that's paying in a position where they have questions. You kind of have to anticipate the questions and feed them information that they haven't asked for.
Right.
I feel like that was a little disappointing because I ended up having to ask questions. And I'm like, these are not the questions I want to ask.
And this is the last
with
thing
him right behind me taking his last breaths.
Right. This is the last thing you want to be doing right now.
So I wasn't mad about that. That was just like, if I had some feedback to say, hey, to improve your service, just consider go above and beyond as far as give all the information, even if you feel like they might not care about this or whatever. Just say everything. Like, put it all out there. Like, this is what's going to happen.
Don't assume anything. Assume that they know nothing, you know?
Yeah, so I don't know what I thought was going to happen as far as, it's an overdose of anesthesia is what they do. And it's weird. The whole process have you ever had to be there for that? Like, I know you had a pet and you had to put it down, but were you there?
No.
So that process, I didn't time it, but it felt about like a minute and a minute 30 from the time they pushed the fluid in to the time where it's over. So it's pretty quick. It's not something that you're sitting there watching something suffer. If a person has to do it, you can feel confident that it looks exactly like something falling asleep. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. I didn't describe it that way to my daughter as far as I didn't call it being put to sleep. I used death. I used that word a lot because I wanted to be clear. He's not going to sleep. Even though she's old enough to understand this, but I wanted to be like, I'm real intentional with my language. And I wanted to just remain true to just, I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm trying to be honest with you. This is what's going to happen. Sure. With Hector, I didn't speak to him that way. With Hector, I just pumped, like I kept repeating to him, he's going and he's not coming back. Do you understand that? He's like, yeah, I get it. And I'm like, do you really? Because I'm not getting any reaction from you besides, I get it.
Well, you never know, man. You never know.
Yeah, because honestly, and I was asking my mom today, because we had a dog when it felt like I was 5 or 6 years old. And I remember us not having that dog anymore. I remember that dog biting me at one point, and I still have a scar. I remember a lot. So to your point earlier, I don't know if technology is going to help, but I constantly get surprised about the stuff I remember from when I was like 4 or 5 years old. And there's a few things I remember. It's kind of messed up how it's easy to remember the painful moments.
Yeah, I mean, do you? What's your earliest memory? Do you? People ask that a lot, and it's if you've never thought of it, it's kind of a difficult thing to think about. But like, so maybe not. You're confident it's the first memory, but something that just from a very, very, very long time ago.
It's tough memories. It's bad memories.
Yeah.
Well,
look, it's crazy. No pressure, dude. You ain't got
no. It's not. It's not. I'm fine with speaking about everything. But it's interesting that it's negative memories that stick out first.
Mine is the same way.
I don't get that. I don't get why the brain works that way. It seems weird. It shouldn't be that way, but that's just the way I remember. And it's not necessarily bad things. It's just negative things like getting in trouble, getting yelled at or stuff. Like I remember those things from like real young, and I'm like, why does that stick out? Why is it not my first bike ride, or why is it not the
first time I had ice cream or something silly like that?
Why is it got to be that? So I remember moments I was scared. Which is weird. I remember, it is what it is. Parents argue, but I remember being very young and hearing my parents argue and that affecting me. Yeah. It's weird. I don't know why the brain works that way, but it does. And
it's so strange, right?
I'm at a spot now. It hurt, but like I said earlier, I'm thankful for the experience. You can't compare losing a human to losing a pet. Well, you can, but you can't. You get what I mean? Like it's not. It ain't like losing a parent, dude. It's
of course
it's important. The sting is different, but there's still a sting there.
Of course, dude. It's a lot of people consider their pets as family members, man. And you mentioned earlier unconditional love.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. So now, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's just I was happy, not happy. I was appreciative that my daughter was able to experience that and process it the way she did, because I think it prepares you for the inevitable experience of death at a more higher level. it's just a little bit more familiar as far as I've dealt with this sort of thing. Because you can't prepare for it, dude. Like, all of us are gonna end up having to deal with that with parents, and I hate thinking about it, and we're not gonna think about it right now.
No.
But it just, and there is no such thing as preparing for that, dude. Like, you could say you're ready, but you're not. And that's really the point I wanted to bring the whole situation up, because this already is like therapeutic to just get it out.
Good, man.
It happened.
Good.
But the real reason I wanted to bring it up was not to harp on, the sadness of it. It's just more to urge people to understand that this dog was fine Thursday morning. He was fine. Perfectly fine. Thursday night, his health shot down 100 miles an hour, and Friday morning, he had to go. So, this stuff is not, like I said, death is impressive. Death does not care about what you have going on in your life at the moment. It doesn't care about what you will be doing or what your plans are. When it's time, it's time. And there's nothing that's going to stop it. You kind of get to a point, at least I felt like, if you cry about it enough, it won't happen. You kind of feel like, just this can't. And that to me it's the blessing and the curse of knowing, because we knew, I made the appointment. We knew at 3:00 this was going to happen. So we spent the whole morning, like, I'm appreciative that I'm able to see him and have these last hours. But at the same time, it makes you dread, like, that clock. Yeah. So appreciate what you have, man. It doesn't matter if it's a pet, a human, a car,
a friend,
everything. Like, everything you have could be taken away from you in a second. So appreciate it. For people that don't have pets, count yourself lucky for now. Because, you truly don't understand these things until you experience that yourself. Like I said, I was real cold-hearted about this stuff. I used to think, just go get another one. Until I was like, oh, yeah, it's not that easy. It ain't just pick up and move on. It's different. You start to remember, the doorbell rang and I didn't hear anybody bark at it.
That's
like, that stuff is weird. So, but it's part of life. It's all good. We march forward, and rest in peace to Justice, man.
Yeah,
awesome dog.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely, man.
But we move forward.
Day by day.
Day by day is nothing, man. That's part of it, man.
Dig it.
What else is going on? Because this is not going to be the only topic on this episode. I refuse.
I'm Matt. No,
I refuse. So,
well, let's
in trying to get our minds off of it.
Yeah, sure.
During the weekend, we went and saw Sonic.
Oh yeah, cool, man.
All right, so we went and did that. We saw Sonic.
Okay.
We went out to eat.
Okay.
We played baseball and basketball. We did everything that came to mind to just get our minds off of it. So Sonic, spoiler alert.
Yeah, if
you're gonna watch really Sonic and you haven't seen it yet, just stop here.
Yeah.
And fast forward like 10 minutes, and we'll be talking about something else.
Yeah.
So Sonic was cool. I liked. Everybody liked it. My parents liked it. They weren't big on that particular game. We were more like a Nintendo family, so Mario was our thing.
Yeah.
But they all liked it. They all appreciated it. I appreciated the callbacks to the old games, how much they pulled exactly like from the game. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was really cool, man. I like. What'd you think of Jim Carrey's performance? I know you're not a fan, but how do you do?
Jim Carrey was Jim Carrey. He did good. He did great, but he did him right. And it fit with his character.
It's his take on. Yeah. But really, a take on what though? I mean, have we had a lot of?
No, it's a mad scientist. He did good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
no, he did.
Did
really
he do the
good.
character justice? There's not really much to go on.
No, he got the cartoon, and the cartoon was goofy, and he acted that way. So I think he did really good. If anybody was gonna do it, he'd be the best at it, and I think he did.
I like the voice actor that played Sonic. It was good. He did a nice job.
He's one of the characters from Parks and Rec.
Yeah, he's a stand-up comedian too, I think.
Yes, I forgot his name, but I can see him. He did real good.
I like the lead.
Yeah, he
the
did
lead
good.
actor. I liked him a lot. He was likable. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was a likable movie, man. It was a fun movie. It wasn't too serious. It didn't try to,
There was nothing. There was no difficult story to keep track of. It was just,
it was fun.
He's trying to get back home, and this is why he has to get back home.
I really enjoyed the final boss battle where Sonic's doing a spin dash.
That was cool.
And he's hitting him on the top. It's on the sides. I was like, man, that's like a super big callback to the games.
I was
really
actually
great.
counting how many times he hit him because I'm like, how cool would it be if you hit him like 5 times like in a game or something?
Yeah. Hit him a lot more than that.
Yeah, he just went nuts. I thought he was gonna turn gold for a second. That would have been cool.
Dude, I was waiting for it. I was like, man, I wonder if they're gonna make this dude supersonic, man.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the movie or something. But
they were teasing
it's
it
stuff,
or whatever.
It's stuff for the sequel, right? Hopefully they make another one. I enjoyed it. Me and the family loved it. We had a good time. It was a fun kids movie. They did the source material well, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see them doing another one. That was a cool little post-credit scene. Did you stay all the way through?
Yeah, they kind of have to because they did really well financially for them.
Right. I think they made a lot more than they were expecting. So, I mean, they've got plenty of characters to bring in. They got plenty of things they could do. I like the idea that those characters are like all over the universe, and they're kind of like, you know, they warp all over. I think that's cool. I think that's a cool take on the lore.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it. I'm glad you liked it, man.
I
figured you would.
I
figured you and the family would like it.
It was between. I mean, that was the movie we had to watch given the circumstances. But I still want to watch Harlequin.
Birds of Prey.
Yeah, just because I like that character. I'm thinking it's gonna be a horrible movie, but
yeah, I haven't heard too much about it. We got to go see 1917. Really looking forward to that one. From a videography, cinematography, filmmaking side, it's a very exciting movie due to the very impressive long one takes in that movie. They do like a series of they call them one takes basically, where the camera doesn't cut. It's just a one long continuous seamless shot. So that's cool. We want to go check that out. But yeah, man, cool. Sonic, nice. All right,
I like that.
Good. What else, dude?
Shoot, what else? I mean, that was pretty much the weekend. I mean, we went out to the park, played baseball, basketball.
Now, when you say you guys went and played baseball, are you guys like, are you fielding the you know, are you getting on first, second, and third base? Because you got a big family, dude.
Yeah, not that big for all that. Nah, Joyce is pregnant and tired.
Yes,
and so that wasn't happening. But
that's exciting.
It was really me, my dad, and Annalise.
When is that baby getting here, man?
May something.
All right, that's right around the corner, dude.
It is.
Very
We're about to start
times.
March, so it's like 2.5 months.
Yeah, man. Boom.
Yeah, we're ready for that.
Baby Barrios coming soon. Awesome.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, dude. Dig it.
What else?
Well, dude, I mean, look, man,
tell me about Sony and Microsoft battling it out.
Oh, geez. All right. You know, as many of you know, we're gamers, dude. We're in our mid-30s and we're big gamers. We were having a discussion before the podcast about the next generation consoles of gaming. The PS5 and the Xbox whatever. Cheese grater or whatever they're going to call it.
Xbox One Series X.
I heard they're going to do the whole, it's just going to be Xbox.
Well, no, it's definitely Series X. Is like the high-end one. It's called Series X.
Oh, wow. Cool. Yeah, I don't really care. I'm excited. I'm excited, you know, because as a gamer, and it's been a long time since we've had a new console, so that'll be fun. But really, it's just like we mentioned, it's more money. It's
interesting that they're letting so all the old controllers will work with the new systems for Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah, the backwards compatibility, that's a big feature, man, for a lot of people.
Yeah, the games will be backwards compatible. They're both kind of, Xbox definitely is pushing towards cloud gaming more. They want you to game on every device you have. They want to use the cloud to do some computations to make it easier for the hardware itself.
I will say this about Xbox and Microsoft. They're always trying to figure out the next step and be the first one there. They're really trying to innovate, and PlayStation's kind of like, look, dude, we make a box that plays games, and we're going to try to do that really well.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, they better put a 4K DVD player in there.
It's got to be.
Which you could argue whether you need that or not, but I'm gonna tell you, as far as for us, like, you better be excited about it because 4K streaming is not as good as 4K on a disc.
No, it isn't.
It's not.
And why is that, Tony? Due to
compression.
It's a completely different 4K experience. So 4K, it's basically 4 1080p screens, right? You know, in terms of pixel height and width. And you're right, 4K streaming, like we have Disney Plus. Love Disney Plus, by the way. Big shout out to that. I'm really enjoying it. We just watched Endgame again. And streamed it in 4K, and it looked great. But you're absolutely right. 4K off of a disc, the bit rate is much, much, much higher.
Audio is better.
Audio is much better.
And here's the thing: unless you have the correct TV, as far as size and 4K quality and HDR quality, these things are going to be negligible to you.
Yeah.
You've got to have a pretty decent TV to actually see, oh, wait a minute, that does look better.
And here's the thing, dude. This makes me laugh. We were at my in-laws recently, and I have this way about me where anywhere I go that there's a television, I usually go in and look at it and go, okay, where's the controller? Give it to me. And I'll calibrate the TV, because I'm really big into making things look as best they can. And it's like it's a very OCD thing I have. And, I think it translates well to videography and video production but anyway, I went and I fixed their TV. There's this thing called motion interpolation. It's basically, the soap opera effect. Interpolation, I think, is what it is. Motion interpolation. Yeah. Basically, it makes it everything looks like it was filmed at 60 frames. It's very smooth. It's like too smooth. It's like those old soap operas that used to be on, CBS on Sunday mornings or whatever. Not supposed to look like that. Usually the color temperature is way off. Either it's like super blue and cool, you got to bring it back down towards, white. But anyway, I did that, and then we went back over there recently, and it was back to the way it was.
Well, you learned a lesson there.
Yeah, and I did learn a lesson because I was like, hey, your TV looks terrible again. She was like, what? I was like, your TV looks terrible. Look at it. She was like, what are you talking about? It looks great. And it's like, yeah. Well, I guess to you, in your eyes, it does look great.
Here's the thing.
And that's okay.
Yeah. You don't have to live with it.
No.
And the person that lives with it, people are real particular with that, man. Like, they get used to, that's the way I want it.
Sure.
You got to leave it alone. So you got to work on being able to go to someone's house.
And just sit there and
mind your business. And leave that TV alone.
Well, dude, when your skin tones are all red.
That's fine. That's what they used to do.
And the blacks are way too high and everything looks gray and, all that.
When you're eating, hamburger helper every day.
Yeah, baby.
You got to get used to, it takes a while to ease into steak. You got to.
It's so funny, man. You and a number of my gaming friends used to call me Dead Pixel, because I'm such a freak for every pixel's got to be right. You know what I mean? What's funny about gaming and what's cool is, I've wanted to talk about this for a while, and gaming and online gaming especially has kept friendships alive in my life. Very, very, very close relationships through gaming. I still play with people from the Marine Corps. I met a very, very good friend of mine now, Dustin, through video games, through a mutual friend of mine. David, when I was living in Hawaii.
So no other relationship besides the video game?
No. So me and David were playing, and we were like the squad, and me and Ben was in there, and David said, hey, my buddy Dustin wants to join us. Cool, great, come on. Dustin starts playing with us on a regular basis. We squad up a lot, and this goes on for years, like 3, 4, 5 years, and then we were taking a trip out west to Lake Tahoe to visit with some family on my coal side. And I was like, yo, Dustin, I'm coming out west, dude. He was like, where are you going to be? I was like, we're going to be in Lake Tahoe. He was like, that's like an hour and a half, 2 hours from me.
Right.
When are you going to be here? I was like, these dates. I'm coming to see you, buddy. I said, okay, great. And and my wife is, she was a little weary about it. She was like, you sure he's not going to kill us? And then,
did you see a picture of him at this point?
No, I haven't seen. I actually haven't talked to Dustin in a minute. It's been a minute.
So when you met, you didn't even know what he looked like?
No, I did know what he would look like because we pretty quickly became Facebook friends.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So I saw what he looked like, and obviously I was talking to him almost every day.
Right.
But it was cool. Yeah, we went out there to Lake Tahoe, and there was Dustin. He was sitting there with his little Subaru car, his dope WRX STI, the blue one with all the gold trim. Yeah, man. He had a really nice car.
Cool.
Yeah, so he was sitting there, and Bree, literally up until that moment, like we were, he drove by. I was like, oh, there he is. She was like, okay, are we sure we're cool with this? We're okay. He's not going to cut us up in the back of his car and take us up to the mountains and drop us off in a lake.
Nah.
I was like, come on. So anyway, got out of the car, gave him a huge hug, and and it was like I hadn't really, I've met him before,
right,
in a way. I've known Dustin for years, so it was just like, hey, this is cool. We're actually together now. So we went hiking, and he took us on this incredible hike through the mountains, and there was this hidden lake like up in the mountains. It was nuts, man. Huh. And then he came to the wedding.
Yeah.
There you go.
Dustin's easy to get along with.
Yeah, Dustin's great, man. But, gaming is just cool, dude. It's, like I said, it's a great way to hang out with people that you can't physically be with due to long distances. So that's cool.
I got family like that I wouldn't, it's messed up, but I wouldn't speak to otherwise. Like... it sounds messed up to say it that way, but this is the reality.
Yeah.
Like we had something in common, and that's just with speaking. We
Yeah.
like the same game, and you got that game, let's play. And then it's like, hey, how's everything going? Like,
Yeah. Through the game, you know what I mean? You're sitting there and,
So a lot of times I'm playing like, Joyce's family, became my family, and she has a cousin that I play with all the time, and it's like, if it wasn't for the game, I wouldn't know how you're doing, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, hey, you want to play Apex? And it's like, while we're playing, we're losing left and right because it's like, yo, how you been? Like, what's going on?
We're
Like,
sitting there,
like, oh, snap, watch out behind you. Oh, I died. All right. So
anyway, what was going on?
yeah, so like, how's your mom or whatever? So
yeah, it's crazy.
it's cool, the little things that technology has allowed us to stay in contact.
Man,
Because it used to have to send a horse.
I had this conversation with my dad and my mom. We went to dinner with them, and we were talking about something with technology or something. And I remember the very first time I got on an old 28 kilobyte per second internet connection on, it was like pre-AOL. It was like CompuServe. It was like,
Yeah.
CompuServe. But anyway, it had a very similar instant messenger program like AOL IM and AIM as they called it. And I'll never forget the day I went up there and my dad was like, here, check this out. That's Aunt Debbie right there. Her name right there in this little box. And I was like, in Pennsylvania? He was like, yeah. I was like, hi, Aunt Debbie. How are you? And then like 30 seconds later, boom, her response came up. And dude, that feeling, like it was insane. And it's like we take it for granted, dude, like how crazy it is. But I'll never forget that. I was like a young kid. You know what I mean? It was the very early days of the internet. And I just never forget that feeling that like I saw her message come up and it was like, it just blew my mind, man. It still blows my mind.
You know what's weird, though, is that phones have always existed.
Yeah.
And
well, not always, but for a long time.
Well, as far as in our lives, right?
Right.
And when AOL Instant Messenger came along, phones existed.
Yeah.
But something weird, I think this should be like a study as far as why do humans tend to prefer written communication
correspondence.
over
Yeah.
just picking up the phone and having that same exact conversation. Because, people did start speaking more than they used to when you were just sending emails and sending text messages or whatever.
Right.
And it makes no sense if you think about it.
No, it doesn't.
Because you don't see me when I'm speaking to you over the phone. So it's better. You can hear my voice. You can hear if I'm being sarcastic. You can hear if I'm upset with what you just said.
Yeah, you can hear those natural pauses,
Yeah.
The
but
inflections.
people, I don't know, they find comfort and freedom in typing their words versus just saying them.
You can be a lot more calculated. You could be a lot more...
if you're wise enough to take the opportunity to be more calculated. Because some people still shoot off at the mouth with their fingers just like...
Yeah, this is true.
How would you say 2 seconds to think about? Like, do you read what you say before you...
Yeah, it's like every
before
time
you send it? Like,
every time we write a business email, business correspondence, we'll save it as a draft. And if we're not together, I'm like, hey, man, take a look at the draft, read it over. How can we say that better?
So, do you send work emails, like work in your daily morning responsibilities?
Yes, I do.
I used to have to send a lot of emails. Not now. Now I don't have to be contacted so often.
Right.
I get to do my own thing, and I get told, when something needs to be shot, I go shoot it.
Yeah.
And we move on.
Same way over at the aquarium. It's the same thing.
But when I was in the customer service side of things, I used to hit people with as stated in the email below.
Per my last email.
Yeah. If you scroll up, I used to send customers these spreadsheets.
Yeah.
This is the difference when they're your customers and when they're somebody else's customers.
Yeah.
Because when I worked for others, I did not have the patience that I have today. Because it wasn't my reputation I was ruining. When you ruin the reputation of others, you're a little more loose with your language.
Yeah, got it. That's funny.
So, I used to have to send spreadsheets updating customers on their orders, like long spreadsheets. It took me hours to update these spreadsheets, right?
I remember.
And I'd send a spreadsheet and the customer would be like, so when is order number 395 coming in? And I'd be like, if you open the Excel sheet and look at, I would write that all out. I would go, if you go to column H and you go to you'll see when your order's coming.
Jeez Louise.
That would be the answer.
Yeah, you're not going to tell them. You're going to say...
Because I spent like 2 hours preparing this sheet and you're not going to even look at it. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, my favorite emails are the ones where it's as if the last email didn't exist or like you never said something and you did.
People answer the question that...
Yeah.
Like they answer whatever. Like you could ask 4 things and they only answer one thing.
Yeah, that's the worst. And then you feel like a total jerk because then you're like, okay, thank you so much for your response. And, you got to do the exclamation point and then the nice thing and you're going to go. But have you considered answering the other things.
Dude, I still see people on Facebook and stuff that'll type in all caps. It's like, you guys got to take like a typing etiquette class. Like, you don't get it. Like, there really is a way to type. Like, you can't just hit all caps and then type everything. It's like, no, it sounds like you're yelling, right? Like, if you're gonna do that.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah, all caps. It's like, oh, just do. I used to hear from military people, that's how we do in the military. We ain't in the military.
Yeah, I agree. Like, trust me, from somebody who was in the military, I don't get it. Like, I was about to say I get it. I don't get that.
What is it with the military that just refuses to use the English language appropriately? Like,
dude, it's
hit
so
caps
funny.
Lock and type away.
Yeah, it's caps lock. Well, they're trying to make the correlation between how they did the block writing, handwriting, and it's a silly. Dude, shut up with that. Shut up. I hate, dude. I talk about this offline a lot. There's another freaking military term, offline. We talk offline. Hearing these people that, I spent 20 years in the Navy and it took me 4 years to start writing in all caps. I was like, did it? It was the next day for me. It was that afternoon.
All caps.
It was that afternoon when I was, writing a letter.
I've never been in the military. I'm proud of the military people. I get it. But there is, it's not even fair to single out the military. There are groups of people that are incredibly proud of what they've done in life, and they feel like they had to rattle off their resume at the most inopportune. It makes no sense. Why are you telling me about your accolades? Dude, you hit me with the weather, and then you hit me with everything you've done in your life, and I'm just sitting there trying to
We laugh about this so much, dude. We'll it's gonna we'll make bets. We're like, all right, is it gonna be the weather? Yeah, it'll be the weather. Okay, then it'll be how something that they've done in their career. You know what I mean? I mean, there's people that just can't stop talking about what they've done before, man. It's just crazy.
We time it. It's like, there you go. We're already on the weather. The conversation's
boom. Yeah, we got over under bets. We're like over under 5 minutes.
We've been with each other for 2 minutes, and we're going to be here for 8 hours.
Yeah.
The first 2 minutes, we're already hitting the weather.
Yeah. You're not a big small talk guy.
I'm not, no.
Yeah, no.
I'm not. I don't need it.
I used to be, because I have a way of... a personality trait that that comes very easily to me. Mm-hmm. Not just small talk, but just being able to converse with others.
In the South, they call that the gift of gab.
The gift of gab, yeah. Hey, maybe that'll be the gift of gab. I like that. I've never heard that before. The gift of gab.
How have you never heard that before?
Because I've never heard it before. That's how. The gift of gab. Is Virginia the South?
There's gonna be.
Virginia's the South.
It's like
right?
on the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah, we're like right there. We're as far north as you come in the South. But anyway,
we're gonna have a portion of the podcast where Tony hits you with a new word of the day or whatever.
Oh, that's a very good idea. The gift of the gab.
Yes,
that's great, man.
Your parents have heard this.
Yeah. But anyway, man, I just the older I get, the more or the less tolerant I am of that kind of. I don't know, just like I'm just like, oh man. Yeah,
I think with experience comes less patience in certain things.
Yeah, maybe.
And for that, you can start to call out the fluff in conversations, and you start to wonder like, why? Why do you feel so obligated to fill the
up
air
every second of
silence is beautiful. There's really nothing wrong with it. I don't get why it makes somebody uncomfortable. It's like, so I'm fine with riding in the car completely quiet. We're going somewhere.
Dude,
we're going somewhere. It's fine.
There's been so many times in the mornings, man. Well, we'll say something like, "Yo, what's up, man? Yeah, blah 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 blah," and all of a sudden it'll just stop. It's just like the sound of the heater, man.
That's fine.
That's great.
Turn on a little bit of music. Keep it going.
Find yourself a friend or someone that you. That is special to you that you can do that with, man.
I went on a business trip where I felt the tension, dude, and I hated it. I felt it so awkward when there was silence. I'm like, I'm supposed to be talking right now.
Yeah, right.
Like, he expects me to say something.
It's like a real life Uber ride or something. You know what I mean?
It's like an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm or something. Like, I start going through it in my head. Like, this guy is probably thinking I'm weird for not having anything to say to him.
Yeah.
And I've got to come up with something. It's like, so how many kids you got?
Oh,
like,
dude.
So what do you like doing on your day off? Like, so how did you get here to this particular job? Like, what were you doing before this? Like,
yeah, I used to love small talk with it used to be cab drivers. Now it's Uber drivers. I used to love that. I hate that now. I can't stand it. I'm just like, yeah, maybe we just, especially if I'm by myself. If you're with a group, yeah, okay. But you get in, it's like, hey, what's up, man? All right, we're heading to 4606 Glanmire Drive. Yep. Yeah, I put it in the app. It's how it works. You don't need to confirm it with me, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, we're heading to 4606. Then he's like, all right, man. You like music? I'm just like, yeah, I do.
How often are you doing the Uber? I've never done it.
I've done the Uber. We do it every once in a while, man. Like if we're, if we're going out and having a good time. I took it more recently when my wife lovingly forgot me at the hardware store. But no.
So the Democratic debate was kind of crazy.
You're an idiot. I'm not ready to talk about that.
But you're ready to talk about the Uber, right?
No, Uber is dope, man. Uber's, dude, how cool is that, man? And I've thought about being an Uber driver.
I know a few people that did it, and a few people told me to do it. I'm not against it. It's cool, especially if you got the time and the interest in doing it.
Yeah, I just don't like the smell of vomit in the.
Well, you got to pick your times in your areas. It is what it is.
I'm just messing.
Because Mikey, he used to do it. He used to tell me to do it. He's like, you got to do it like at 1, 2 in the morning. Go around the airport.
Oh wow!
Pick people up, and you make a lot of money, and you could do it pretty quick. He's like, yeah, some people are drunk and stuff like that, but
yeah,
it's like you kind of pick up on them in the body language, and you speak to those that can be spoken to. If not, you just
you leave
be
them
quiet
alone.
and you drop them off. Like that's it. So
yeah, cool, man. Yeah. I mean, anybody can do it now too, because the app just does it for you. It tells you where to go. It tells you how to where to pick them up, where they're going, what their name is. I mean, just jeez.
This is why if you don't like working for other people, there's a plethora of options.
There is. There's a lot
in
of
2020 to go work for yourself.
Yeah, man.
Uber will take anyone. I think you just have to not have a felony because they do background checks.
Yeah. Man, I saw somebody driving an Amazon truck today, or Amazon van. And,
the Amazon thing is
Amazon
cool,
people
man.
are, talk about a freeing job experience, man. It'd be pretty cool.
But you know that one you can own like a franchise, like those big trucks that you see. That somebody bought that truck and they're just delivering for Amazon, which is the coolest thing in the world.
That's
man.
really dope. Yeah,
it's
man,
a couple grand to get into that.
What happened to the whole drone thing, man? The whole Amazon drone.
Oh,
thing.
they're doing that. It's just certain cities.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
And in New York, they got like 1 hour deliveries.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What are they flying them in on?
I think they do like the Inspire.
Yeah, that was going to be my guess. The DJI Inspire, because it's
stuff
big
like that.
enough,
Big.
the heavier payload. Like, well, I bet you they're making custom drones though. You know, if Amazon is doing it, they got to be making their own custom drones.
Yeah, I seen the video. They send you first like the mat that you have to put in your backyard, and they tell you this how much space you have to have.
Oh, that is insane. Are you kidding me? I've never looked into this, man. I just knew that it was going to be a big thing, and it was like really in the news. And then, I mean, I guess we're a pretty small market here in Virginia Beach. I mean,
it's not going to happen here. It's just too many military aircraft and airports.
Yeah, this is true.
So it's never going to happen here. But like in New York and stuff, like
that's crazy. So you have a pad you put out, like a
it's like the big pad. H or whatever, and then they tell you from the H you have to have this many feet left, right, or whatever.
Yeah, clearance.
And it's certain packages. Like you can get a pair of shoes and stuff.
That's crazy, man.
You're not getting a freaking fridge or something, but
yeah.
1 hour, my microwave.
Yeah, no, I bet you can get a small little grocery run in. A little grocery. I need some milk and some bread. Boom.
A lot of people doing that with the whole Amazon and Walmart. They're doing the whole deliver it to your house, which is going to be interesting, man. That stuff is going to be interesting. Technology and how the economy will change with that.
Yeah.
These robots are not going to get rid of all your jobs. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, right.
But they're going to make you pick up some new skills.
Yeah, no. Convenience is going to be the word, right? And you're right. You're going to have to be able to adapt. I mean, it's always been happening. Yeah, people are continuously having to adapt to technology. This is nothing new.
You know what I seen at Walmart the other day? Have you seen this where like the Zamboni, you call it, like in ice hockey? They had that in Walmart. It was by itself mopping the floor, going up and down the aisles.
Wow.
Yeah,
running kids over. Cool. Running kids over.
It was slow down, pushing people, whatever.
Away.
Like it had cameras everywhere.
It's a big Roomba.
It's dope. I was like,
it's
man,
Roomba. WalmartRoomba.com.
Listen, man, if I'm not trying to be rude, but if all you could do was mop and that robot just took your job and you're out here starving, that says more about you, dude. Like you gotta be able to do more than pick up a mop. Like,
well, I mean,
robots are gonna get rid of the jobs that are not necessarily always the highest level jobs. There will be some like software and stuff like that that'll get rid of like data entry and stuff like this, but it's not gonna be the end of the world immediately. Yes, there's gonna be jobs missing, but there will always be need for humans. Is the most important point. There's always gonna be a need for us. That's why you got to get your education, figure out what your passion is, and go chase it. Don't sit around waiting for technology to replace you. You can see it coming, dude. Whatever your job is, you should have a genuine interest and educate yourself on the market. If you're a data entry person, if you're doing groceries and stuff like that, you should be paying attention to what's going on out there. Like what could potentially be a threat to my job, and how do I add skills to myself to kind of adapt? You always got to be learning.
1 step ahead.
Yeah, because at any moment that job could be gone. So if your job is gone today, what are you gonna do? How do you shift gears?
Yeah.
You don't just stop paying bills, give up, and curl up in a ball and cry. Like you
That's
have
like
to move forward.
with us. We talk about this right here. This beautiful smartphone, this iPhone 11 Pro with 3 lenses on the back that shoots 4K video at up to 60 frames a second and 240 frames a second in HD, full high definition. But we don't get freaked out by that and go, oh man, we're done. No, we adapt and we do things that you can't do on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the point. I want to do the stuff you can't do.
Yeah.
If you could do it.
And you should be. And you absolutely should be doing stuff on this. If you're a small business owner or a content creator.
Yeah, unless you've got the cash flow, like, you're fortunate enough to just have cash flow to where you can spend on things that you just don't feel like doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, I got the budget. I don't feel like doing that. Let me just get somebody else to do it. But, if you don't have the budget to get others to do it, that's a great tool.
Yeah, man.
Just get it done.
There's a whole podcast coming up on that, though, for sure. But anyway, man, dig it, dude. It's been a rough week, but glad you're here, dude.
Yeah, man.
Glad we're doing better. And, yeah, rock and roll, dude. We got the gala this weekend.
The gala this weekend is going to be cool.
Yeah.
We'll shoot that. And
got some big stuff coming up with a certain city, perhaps.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen. We won't even say the last name just in case, but happy birthday to Jessica. She turned 30.
Happy birthday. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, 30 to our friend Jessica from a certain city.
So happy birthday.
Dude, happy birthday, Jessica. That's freaking awesome, man. Nah, well, we got to
celebrate. Now we'll know if you watched the entire podcast.
Yeah, no, we're going to quiz you. All right, man. Awesome, dude. We'll see you next Friday, man.
Yeah, man. We're out.
All right, I'm Matt.
I'm Tony.
And this is the Tsunami Podcast.
Yes, sir.
You're always great. I can't take you anymore. You have no more stick